Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve Bishop. I'm an executive director with United Financial Freedom, and you folks are in for a great treat tonight. And like I've already said, it could be a time, the next 45 minutes is a time that basically could change your entire life. And but I'm really very honored tonight to introduce our speaker. Our speaker is Mr. Len Spencer. He actually is a senior executive director with United Financial Freedom. He was one of the original first 10 agents way back in 2006 to join United Financial Freedom. He's a great salesman. Here's why: because he's married to a beautiful lady named Carmen. So Len, good job, my friend. But Len and Carmen are co-founders of Financial Freedom Ministry. He's a Christian author, and he literally has taught tens of thousands of people really how money works. He's probably one thing that he's most proud of. He's a great ambassador for the Lord Jesus Christ. And finally, I could say this: he's one of my dearest friends in the world. He's someone that I could count on. And again, just a great friend of mine, and a great friend of the Lord, and great friend of people. So without further ado, Mr. Len Spencer.
Steve, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Appreciate it very much. And friends, thank you for taking time to join us. Before I bring up the presentation tonight, I want to just take a few minutes and just talk to you just face to face, eye to eye, as much as we can on a Zoom meeting. Friends, let me just really quickly just share my own story. Years ago, as Steve already mentioned, I've been in this and part of it for years. There was a time in my life when I was completely broke. I didn't know where my next nickel was coming from. I had lost my job because the company I'd been working with had gone out of business. And at that time, we had $330,000 of debt hanging over our heads. And I honestly was this close to bankruptcy. But I knew somewhere in my heart and spirit there had to be a better way. So after a lot of prayer, we were guided to the company that you're going to see tonight and the opportunity that you're going to see tonight. And boy, did it ever change our life. $330,000 of debt, no income. We made the decision, we're going to be part of this because this is powerful. And what you're going to see here tonight is extraordinarily powerful. And we started just sharing it with other people. We were so excited, we just started sharing it with other people. 18 months later, 18 months, folks, we were debt-free, our mortgage was paid in full, and we were making more money per month than most people do per year. I wanted to share that little background with you because I really want your focus and your time and attention here tonight. I want you to put away everything, put away the phones, put away anything that might be distracting you. And I want you to pay attention to what you're going to see here for the next 35 minutes. Because I'm going to share with you tonight the pathway to financial freedom. And this is a proven pathway. My story may sound like it's profound and a huge, big wow, and it is. And we, of course, give God all the praise, honor, and glory for that. But it's not just us. That same type of story has unfolded time after time after time after time across the country as we've gone out and helped other people. So again, what you're about to see tonight, friends, is really an extraordinary business opportunity. And that's what it is. My wife and I choose to do it as a ministry/business. We call it a marketplace ministry. But that's not required. It's entirely up to you. You can do it as a business or a ministry, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But what it's really about, friends, is freedom. It's about both financial and time freedom. I've had brick and mortar businesses in my life. In fact, at one point in my life, I've owned a radio station. At another point in my life, I owned a restaurant. I've had the brick and mortar businesses. Friends, I've never, ever had something in my life where I could work when I wanted to work, play when I wanted to play, take time off when I wanted to take time off, and make a 7-figure annual income. It's incredible. You know, most people shrink their dreams to match their income, but what if you could literally grow your income to match your dreams? And what if you could increase your income while simultaneously rapidly eliminating your debt and converting it into wealth? Think about that. Who do you know that's being crushed by inflation? Everybody, right? Who do you know that has debt? Almost everybody, right? Mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, student loans, so much more. And who do you know that needs more income? Again, almost everybody, right? Well, what have you invested so far in your life, both in time and money, to get you where you are right now in your life? And has it paid off the way you had hoped and planned? Are you where you want to be? Are you debt-free yet? And do you have both financial and time freedom? As I mentioned, I've had brick and mortar businesses. Had the radio station, I've had the restaurant, I've had the brick and mortar businesses. And what I found out is that I was literally tied to those businesses for 60, 70, 80 hours a week. The profit margin was extremely low. It took a huge amount of effort and time away from family. The investment to get into those businesses was substantial, but with United Financial Freedom, I truly have freedom. And that's what we're sharing with you tonight. You can have the freedom to rapidly decrease your debt and simultaneously increase your income at the same time, simultaneously. Friends, this is the only opportunity in existence that without a license, it is in the financial services industry, but no license is required. We're in all 50 states. So it's the only business in the financial services industry in the country that is very upper end, very prestigious, very, very lucrative, allows people to save $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 or more. We were just on another meeting earlier where someone shared that they were saving $400,000 with this program. I've helped somebody save 1.3 million with the program. And at the same time, rapidly increase their income. Whether you want to make $1,000 a week, whether you want to make $3,000 a week, whether you want to make $5,000 a week or more, the opportunity is here. And that's what you're going to see here tonight. So let me give you a little bit of a history on this company. These are the owners, Skyler Whitman here on the top and John Wyshchenko. Back in the 1990s and early 2000s, these guys had their own mortgage company. They're based in the state of Utah. And they became aware of the debt epidemic. And they became aware that their clients were coming back every 2, 3, 4 years to refinance the mortgage, pull out some equity. Some of them would maybe pay off some debt. Others would just go buy some toys or whatever. But here's the thing, folks, you can only refinance your mortgage once or twice or maybe 3 times, depending on what the market does, until you're you've cornered yourself. You're in a hole that you can't get out of. And now you're bankrupt and you're going to lose everything. And these guys said, wait a minute, we cannot see our clients just lose everything. That's not why we're in business. Because both of these guys had witnessed their families losing their homes when they were young, and they knew how that felt to get kicked out of the home and have their home repossessed, essentially. So they invested millions of dollars of their own money to develop the Money Max account program. We call it the MMA program for short. The MMA program allows people, anyone, to rapidly pay off all of their debts: credit cards, student loans, mortgages, boat loans, RV loans, tax loans, business debt, it doesn't matter, church debt. Rapidly pay off all of the debt, including the mortgage, in as little as 5 to 7 years. And the average savings is well over $100,000. But even in the worst case scenario, we're saving people tens of thousands. As I mentioned, in the best case scenario, we're saving people more than $1 million with this program. And here's the key: without refinancing, without changing their budget or lifestyle, and without sacrificing. Friends, that's huge. And when you can make that kind of claim, oh my goodness, are you going to get attention? Well, these guys did. They got a lot of attention. And Ernst & Young, who I'm sure you'll recognize, worldwide accounting firm, came in and did a deep dive. They came in and dived and went deep into the owner's financials, the longevity of the company, the retention, the product viability, the impact on consumers. Well, as a result of what they found, and Ernst & Young, again, very prestigious name in the financial world, these guys were awarded the 2008 Entrepreneur of the Year Award in the Utah region in the financial services division. Now, some of the companies that have won that same award over the years have been Apple, Starbucks, eBay, and Microsoft. So you can see it puts us in a very prestigious position right off the bat. And now we're about a 25-year-old financial services company. And as Steve mentioned in the introduction, we've helped thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of clients that are now 100% debt-free. In fact, we have now helped our clients pay off $2.4 billion of debt since this company began. $2.4 billion of debt paid off. So now it's proven and it's powerful and it's life-changing and the results are real. Now, some of you are already wondering, how in the world can somebody pay off all of their debts, including their mortgage, in as little as 5 to 7 years? First and foremost, you need to understand the true cost of debt, because unless you understand the true cost of debt, nothing else that I share with you tonight is going to make any sense. So I want to share with you the true cost of debt. Now, your bankers and lenders are not going to share this with you. Why? Because they're making hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars off from your debt. Your banks and lenders want to keep you in perpetual debt. That's what makes them a lot of money and keeps them very profitable. Let's take a credit card for an example. Let's say that I found a really nice big 85-inch screen TV that I couldn't live without, and I didn't have the cash to pay for it. So I run down to the electronics store and I swipe the Visa card. Now I've got my big 85-inch TV on the wall and I'm so happy, but guess what else I've got? I've got a monthly payment on that $2,500 credit card. Well, 18% interest, I'm paying a payment for the next 333 months if I'm just going to make the regular minimum monthly payment that the bank wants me to pay. 333 months. That's almost as long as a mortgage. And it's going to cost me another $5,896 in interest along the way, which means I'm paying a total of $8,396.48 over that period of time on that TV. Friends, not only is that a 235% interest that I'm paying on that purchase, but you and I both know the TV is going to be worn out and gone long before that's ever paid off. How many of you are still paying on things that you bought years ago and you don't even have them anymore? That's part of the true cost of debt. But let me really open your eyes. Let me show you the true cost of mortgage. Now, remember, these guys owned a mortgage company. And what they understood about mortgages, friends, what I'm about to show you, please give me your attention. I want you to see this. This is a $300,000 mortgage at a 4% annual percentage rate APR with regular monthly payment of $1,432.25. Most people say, well, can I make the monthly payment? Is that comfortable? Does that fit into my budget? And does the APR, does the annual percentage rate sound good? If those two things are a yes, then we buy the home. Now, folks, I'm not against homeownership. I'm all for it, but there's a big difference between owning a mortgage and owning the home. Look at this mortgage. In the first 5 years, I would have paid $85,935 to the bank. $28,657 of that was principal, so the loan balance came down by $28,657. Well, guess what? That means $57,278 went to interest. Friends, what did I get for the 57 grand of interest? Nothing. Nothing. The lender didn't call me up and say, hey, thanks for the 57 grand. Let me send you a certificate that you and your wife can go to dinner. I get nothing. I get nothing for that. At the 10-year mark, I've paid in $171,870. They credit me with $63,600. That's how much went to principal. That means $108,000 was interest. Up to that point in time, I have paid 62.97% interest on every dollar I sent that lender. At the 20-year mark, I've paid $343,740. I'm just barely at the halfway point of getting that principal paid off. $158,000 went to principal, $185,000 went to interest, 53.88% interest up to that point in time. And if I don't refinance and go ahead and pay it off in the full 30-year time frame, I'm paying $215,000 over the lifetime of the loan on a $300,000 note. That means I'm literally spending 41.81% interest over the lifetime of the loan. When does it become a 4% APR mortgage? Year 29. The very last year of the mortgage, it actually becomes 4%. You see, APR means annual percentage rate, and the amount of money people are paying in interest will astound you. Here's a snapshot of a recent client. This is right off from their truth in lending statement. This particular client borrowed $396,670. That's how much they financed on their mortgage. They got what most people would consider screaming deal on the APR. They got 2.659%. But look what it says right here on that line of APR. It says your costs over the loan term expressed as a rate, but it says this is not your interest rate. Let me blow that up so you can read it clearer. This is not your interest rate. It's the rate you've got stuck in your head because that's what you were quoted, and we're taught by the banks and lenders that it's all about the APR. Friends, no, it's not about the APR. It's about the total interest percentage you're going to pay on a loan. And loans are calculated differently, by the way. Over the life of this particular loan, this borrower was going to pay 42.24% interest over the life of the loan. Now, if you look at what interest rates are now across the country, right now it's 7.225% for a 30-year fixed interest. That means if I went out and bought a $400,000 home today with a 7.225% over that 30-year time span, I'm going to pay back a total, look at this, I'm going to pay back $979,889. Friends, that's $579,889 just in interest. I'm literally paying for one house for me and one house for the bank. I'm giving them a house, and I got nothing for it. Over the period of 30 years, that's a total interest percentage of 144%, almost 145% interest. Friends, in the financial world, that's what we call insanity. It's absolute insanity. So now you know why this program is so important, because people are literally giving the bank all of their wealth. Friends, if you were going to take a trip from one side of a great big metropolitan area to the other side and go to an address that you didn't know and you were not familiar with, or maybe you're going to go from Boston to LA across country and you're not familiar with the routes, are you going to pull out a whole bunch of maps? No, that was 1970s style driving. What do we do now? We punch in our destination on a GPS. Why? Because we know that the GPS is going to get us to our destination as quickly and as efficiently as possible, save us the most amount of time. Well, what if there was a financial GPS that where you could put in your income, your monthly expenses, and your debts, and it would analyze every one of your debts, it would analyze your income, your expenses, and it would literally create an action plan for you to follow every single day that would mathematically show you in real time the exact path to take to become completely debt-free, save you as much money as mathematically possible, create wealth at the same time you're canceling interest, and it's got real-time guidance and course corrections and a lot of financial strategies built in. So you don't have to know all the math, you just use the program. That's it. Friends, technology changes things in a big, big way. And when you combine technology with the right business opportunity at the right time, it changes everything. It changes everything. Let me show you John and Rebecca. They've got 5 debts, an American Express card, $1,250 balance at 21.99% interest, monthly payment of $35, an automobile loan, student loan. You can see what the interest rate is on each and the monthly payment, the Visa card at $2,500, 18.9, and the mortgage $325,000 at 3.89%. Now, the principal amount that John and Rebecca owe, $386,250, 386 grand of principal, but that doesn't include the interest. Did you know that the banks, all of them, all of those lenders that you see on screen, have already predetermined how much interest they're going to charge John and Rebecca? And the banks have told John and Rebecca, yeah, you're going to pay another 241 grand, almost another $242,000 in interest. Friends, again, that's insanity. What in the world does John and Rebecca get for $241,918 of interest? Nothing, nothing. The total that the bank says you owe, John and Rebecca, $628,168. Now, we plugged in John and Rebecca's information into the program, and the program says, no, you're not going to pay that kind of insane interest. We're going to save you $171,572 of interest. You're going to be out of debt, not 30 years. You're going to be out of debt, including your mortgage, in 9.1, because we're going to mathematically create this action plan for you, and all you have to do is follow the action plan, and we'll even give you your payoff date. How brilliant is that? And then here's the key. This is such a beautiful thing, because this is the same exact money that's flowing through John and Rebecca's hands right now, but it's managed in a much more efficient manner. Now, when I say managed, I mean John and Rebecca are still managing their money. We're not touching their money. We're not touching their accounts. They're still in charge. But this MMA program is guiding them and directing them and giving them their action plan to follow every day so that they can manage their money in a much, much, much more efficient manner. No change to their lifestyle, no refinancing necessary, just using an ordinary checking and savings account at any bank or credit union along with this program. Friends, that is incredible. But then John and Rebecca decided they'd like to help some other people because they recognize the power of this program and what it'll do. So they decided we're going to go ahead and commit maybe 4 or 5 hours a week. We're going to do this very, very part-time, 4 to 5 hours a week. We're going to go ahead and help another family every week get on this program and help them save a whole bunch of money and get out of debt so much quicker. That gives John and Rebecca an average of an additional $1,000 a week income. And look at what that's going to do now for John and Rebecca. No longer 9.1 years to get out of debt. By helping just one family a week, John and Rebecca are going to be debt-free in 5 years and save over $200,000 of interest. Did they have to change their lifestyle? Nope. Want a weekend date with your spouse? Great, take it. You want to go out and buy the big screen TV? Great, do it. Just program that in and the program will recalculate and tell you exactly how that affects you. It's incredible. It's excellent. And then Rebecca looks at this for a while and she said, John, I really don't like my job that much. And I commute an hour and a half one way every day in traffic and spend all that money in gas. I'm buying lunch every day at the office. Why am I killing myself? I'd rather be home with my family. I'd rather be homeschooling my kids. What if I did this a little bit more than part-time? What if I put in maybe 15 hours a week or 18 hours a week and I help 3 families a week get on this program? John says, okay, what would that do for us? So she plugs the numbers in. And if she does that, John and Rebecca are going to be debt-free in 2.5 years, save $219,000 of interest. Friends, that's extraordinary. Remember, I told you my own testimonial of getting on this program and starting to share it with others. We paid off $330,000, my wife and I did, in just 18 months. Friends, what you're about to see next will help you understand how that is possible. I know you're probably looking at this just kind of mind blown right now, and that's okay. I was that way when I first saw it too, but it's real. It's a top-notch, extremely professional company and program and organization, and you're going to see everything that comes with it in a moment. But it gets even better than that, because after John and Rebecca are completely debt-free in just 2.5 years, let's say they just invest all that money that was going to debt payments every month to the bank, and now that they're debt-free, they can invest that. So they invest it for the balance of the 27.5 years of time that we saved them at just 1% return over that 27.5 year period of time. Do you know they could have 4.5 million set aside for retirement? Friends, that's not only life-changing, that's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. It is freedom made simple. Would you like to work 3 days a week and get paid better than you are at your full-time job? Look what I just put in front of you. Millions of Americans need help. Millions, tens of millions of Americans need help. You know as well as I do, they're struggling. There are 6 different ways to earn income with this business opportunity. Now, again, this is a high-level business opportunity, very prestigious, 25+ year financial services company. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking in the back of your mind, man, this is going to cost me a fortune. Stay tuned. I'm going to give you a very pleasant surprise in a moment that I think you're absolutely going to love. But I want to share with you how we get paid first. Now, right off the bat, I'll just ask you, if you could go out and make $2,000 to $3,000 a week, every week, how much would you invest to do that? If you could save 10, 15, 20, maybe 25 years of mortgage payments, how much would you invest one time to do that? While you're thinking about that, let me show you how lucrative this thing is. When you come into the business, right off the bat, you're going to be right around a $900 commission level. The reason I kind of say right around is because honestly, it depends on how people pay for their program. Some people put it on a credit card, some people do our financing, and we do offer financing with as little as 0 down and very, very low monthly payments. So we make it easy for people to get into. But here's the cool part, even when they finance it with the bank that we partnered with, you'll get your commission up front, which is really cool. And we do want you to split the first couple of sales because we want you to be trained correctly. We want you to know what you're doing. But then look, after you've helped maybe 3, 4, 5 families, depending on the price of their program and what they're doing here, you could be bumped up to the next contract level. This is an independent 1099 contract position. And after you've helped maybe about 10 families or so, you get bumped up again. You get another raise in your contract level. Again, very good money. And you can go out and help 2, 3 families a week. If your contract rate is $1,130, figure it out. That's $3,390 on average per week of income just by you getting to that director level and then going out and help 2 or 3 families a week. But it just keeps getting better and better and better, because as you help more families, you continue to get raises and so on and so forth. Now, friends, let me tell you, there is absolutely no requirement whatsoever for you to recruit anyone into this business. You don't have to recruit a soul if you don't want to. If recruiting just kind of turns your stomach sour, that's okay. You can still join us and just go help people and make some very good part-time or full-time money. But if you do decide to build a team, here's what's really cool about building a team, if you are inclined to do that. It doesn't take many, maybe just a handful of people, and you can make extraordinary income. First of all, if you do decide to build a team, your team's sales volume combines with yours to help get you promoted quicker. So when you see 30 sales, you could actually get to the executive director position by you doing 10 and bringing in Rebecca that also does 10, and then bringing in Steve that does 10, 20, 30. You're at the top. You're an executive director. And these numbers over here on the right, folks, that represents the difference between whatever level you're at, your contract, and the level of the contract of the person you're bringing in. So for an example, if I'm an executive director and I'm making $1,550 every time I save a family $100,000 and save them 20 years of mortgage payments, that's pretty doggone good reward, right? If I have one managing director, the difference between me and them is 150 bucks. And I've got one senior director. Now I'm making 290 override on my senior director. If I've got one person at each one of these positions, so I've got just 5 people on my team, if we're all helping just one family per week, I'm making $3,600 a week. If I have 10 people on my team, 2 at each level, or if I have the same 5 and we're each helping 2 families a week, I'm making $7,200 a week. If we're all helping 3 families a week, friends, you do the math. This is time and financial freedom like you could never imagine. Again, I've had brick and mortar businesses, and this absolutely beats them hands down. And I can work from where I want to work. Next week, my wife and I are going to the ocean. We're going to be in an RV overlooking the ocean. And I'm still going to be working because I've got my phone and my laptop with me. This is incredible. And once somebody gets to that same executive director position that you are at, you don't lose them. You actually override them. And if they're building a team, you override them and their entire team 6 levels deep, not just 6 people deep, 6 levels of teams deep. Friends, my best income in this company has been 1.2 million in 1 year. Now, again, you're probably thinking, man, if you can make that kind of money and there's bonus pools on top of that. Here's what's really cool about the bonus pools, by the way. If you go out and help at least 4 families a month on average, you are going to get into the personal producer pool. And so you're going to make bonus pool money on top of the commission income, which is incredible. And then as you move up the ranks, you can make even more bonus pool money. There's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars paid out in bonus pool money every month with this company. Again, you're probably thinking, what in the world is this going to cost me? Well, you're going to get unlimited access to a world-class virtual office. You're going to get marketing videos, websites and materials, illustration software. You're going to be able to do client proposals. You're going to have a system that tracks everything for you, a complete training library, home office support. You're going to get support from the people that brought you in. You're going to get support from the team. So let me go back to the question I asked right up front again. What have you invested both in time and money so far in your life to get you where you are right now? And has it paid off the way you had hoped and planned? Are you where you want to be? If you stay on your current path, where are you going to be in the next 3 years? Where are you going to be in 5 years? Where are you going to be in 10 years? Will you have the financial and time freedom you want if you stay on your current path? Only you know the answer to that. But with United Financial Freedom, I'm going to tell you right now, you could be on the path of both time and financial freedom within a few short days. That's right. You can start making money immediately with this company. How much does it cost to start a business? Well, on average, startup and first year costs often fall between 30 to 40 grand. If you wanted to do a franchise, very similar to what we have here, where everything is already done, it's already in place. The branding is already there. The history is already there. Very prestigious name and an incredible program. While franchises can cost maybe as low as 10 grand or as high as 5 million. The average price for a franchise is anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000. Friends, I'm about to blow your mind. Would you invest under $5,000 one time in order to save 15, 20, or 25 years of debt payments? Of course you would. That's not even a question. Would you invest about what you're paying on your mortgage for a couple of months? Would you invest that much money, about $41.94, one time, if you could save 15, 20, or 25 years of mortgage and other debt payments? No brainer, of course, right? Well, what if that same $41.94 one-time investment also gave you the ability to earn $1,000 to $4,000 per week, every week? Would you do that? Of course. Friends, if you don't say yes to that, I don't know where you learned math, but that's incredible. And here's the bonus. You don't even have to come up with the $41.94. You get both of those, and we'll even finance it for you with up to 100% financing available. Payments as low as $125 a month. So what does that mean? That means you could come in today, join in this highly prestigious, highly lucrative opportunity, get yourself on track where you're saving $50, $100, $150, $200,000 of interest, get yourself on track to where right out of the gate, you're earning $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week before your first payment even comes due. Friends, that's ultimate leverage, ultimate leverage. You borrow the money, you get in, you start sharing this opportunity with friends and family and neighbors and people you love and care about, people at the church, people in your business community. Listen, businesses are in debt too, and they will eat this up with a spoon. You're going to beat inflation, crush your debt. It's really simple. And we're going to give you all the training, help, support, coaching that you need to be highly, highly, highly successful in this business. It doesn't get any better. Again, I've had the brick and mortar businesses, friends. I never had anything as profitable, as freeing, and as easy to do as United Financial Freedom. Truly life-changing. All you have to do to get started is get back to the person that referred you, sign up as an independent agent, get started on your own MMA program. It's okay if you need to finance it, that's fine. If you want to know how much the program is going to save you, we'll gladly do a free analysis for you. Not a problem. If you want to see your numbers, we'll do that for you. And then start sharing the opportunity. Friends, this is freedom made simple. Freedom, both time and money, made simple. Most people shrink their dreams to match their income. We just showed you an opportunity to grow your income to match your dreams. So welcome aboard. Welcome to the family. Glad you're here. Steve, I'm going to turn the time back to you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Lynn. We certainly appreciate that. And folks, really, this is the greatest opportunity there is in America today. Why? We've only worked a little better than 80,000 families. Me and my wife, Sue, we live in a county where there's almost about 300,000 people. And there's just more opportunity in this, but we've actually asked some of our associates if they would come along and give a short testimony. We want ladies first. So Miss Di D'Arienzo, if you would unmute yourself there and give us a word of wisdom.
Good evening, everybody. Wow. Where do I start? I guess I'll start at the beginning. When I was a little girl, my dad, he was in the military. So I grew up really good doing exactly what I was told to do. So I went to school, I got the grades I needed. I went to college, got my degree in psychology with an emphasis on chemical dependency, and graduated with $120,000 worth of student loans. So that's where I got to begin my life. And I was working 15 hours a day, 6 days a week to support 4 kids. And friends, I was a financial train wreck. All right. In addition to having those student loans, I had a first mortgage, had a second mortgage. I had $97,000 worth of credit card debt. I had a car payment, a van payment, and of course, I had to have a timeshare. We all did, right? This is back in the 90s. So my little brother, he brought me kicking and screaming to see a financial advisor one day. And when I sat down with that gentleman, it absolutely blew my mind. This was in 2002, and I discovered that I had been taken advantage of in every single financial aspect of my life. I had a toxic mortgage. I had the wrong kind of life insurance. I wasn't saving anything for retirement. And, so if that's where you're starting out, congratulations, you're right on track. Okay. So after sitting down with this gentleman, I decided to walk away from my practice and make a career change into financial services. And guess what? I had to invest more money. I had to get a life license. I had to get a mortgage license. I had to get securities licenses, my 6, my 63, my 26, all of those licenses in order to go out and help people. And I spent the next 20 years teaching people the rules that the banks and insurance companies and Wall Street don't want us to know. But guess what? All of that knowledge did not teach me what you saw tonight. Didn't teach me how to get out of debt. And when this company came to me, I had 28 years left to go on my mortgage. Okay. And this was just a couple of years ago. So we ran my numbers, and it took me from 28 years on my mortgage down to 7.8 years. Saved me $113,000 in interest. Now, if that's all it ever did for me, guys, that's $113,000 that stayed in my family's bank account. But remember, I'm in the field of financial services, so I incorporated this into what I was already doing. And let me tell you, talk about exploding your income. This is huge because all of my clients wanted to get out of debt. All of my clients wanted to be on track for retirement. And the thing that prevents people from retiring with dignity is debt. So here's a real fast client story. My first one, I've had hundreds, thousands since then, but this particular family had 28.2 years left to go on their mortgage. They still owed $296,000. But the bank wanted to get $491,000 out of them for the $296,000, as Lynn explained to you. We ran their numbers and we took them from 28 years down to 11.8. Saved them 16.3 years worth of mortgage payments and $116,000 in interest. But you guys, they didn't stop there. And you have to understand that being buried in debt isn't the problem. The disease is financial literacy. Having debt is a symptom. And there's other symptoms that go along with illiteracy, like not having the right kind of life insurance or none at all, and investing in toxic vehicles that are exposed to risk, exposed to taxes, and laden with fees. So what I did entirety for this family, yeah, they're going to be debt free in 11.8 years, but they're going to retire with $102,000 worth of tax-free passive income. It's the same amount of money they were already spending. Would you rather be buried in debt for 28 years or at the same amount of time, that same 28-year period, be able to have $102,000 a year passive residual income? Friends, this is real. Get back with the person who invited you here today. See what this program can do for you personally. And is it worth $4,200 to get started? Oh my gosh, remember, I spent $120,000 to get a psychology degree. Then I spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to go work in a bank. And here for $4,200, I'm going to be debt-free and financially independent way before I was ever scheduled to retire. So back to you, Lynn or Steve, whoever.
Thank you, Di. I certainly appreciate that. And well, thank you so much, Di. Mr. Tony Lee up in North Carolina, if you would unmute and give us a word of wisdom, sir.
Up there, down there, this North Carolina somewhere. um, look, what Di is saying is so unbelievable. I want to tell you two quick stories, real quick. I've helped people that make $30,000 a year. That's their entire income. Show them how they own a home, get out of debt in their 30s, and then be able to have $1 million by the time they retire. And this is not even adding on what Di was talking about, right? I've also helped a lady that her husband passed away, had three investment properties in her own home. She didn't know what to do. She basically was crying by the end of it because I showed her she was going to be able to pay all of those off in 11 and a half years, saving over $400,000. And by the time they were completely paid off, she was going to have almost $30,000 a month in income because they're all vacation rentals. They're doing the Verbos. If you're an insurance person, would you not want to have that client? Right? Let's look at it a different way. I became her hero. I don't have a license in anything right now. But guess what? Somebody sold her those houses. She worked with a realtor. There was an insurance guy that put insurance on it. Right? There was a tax accountant that runs her taxes. There's all the other professionals that she deals with, even a financial plan. She has a financial planner. None of them showed her that. So if you're a financial professional or have a license, anything, do you want to be the hero or are you going to let somebody else be the hero? This program's too incredible to not let your clients know about it. You need to make sure that you share it with your clients because somebody's going to do it sooner or later. And again, do you want to be the hero or let someone else be the hero? Thank you guys for allowing me to speak.
Thanks so much, Tony. Of course, and last but not least, our good friend, our brother, Pastor David Boston in New York. Brother David.
Wow, I hope, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to be here. I won't be long. The information that Di gave, that Tony gave, and the awesome presentation that Lynn continues to improve upon is just exceptional. You know, folks, I've been a pastor. I've been in ministry since 1978, and I've seen people who live on Barely Long Street right next to Grumble Out. And I've seen people have to take collections up in order to bury people when loved ones die. And since, just so you know, since 1913, the government has given the ability of a small few to put us in the financial slavery that we're in now. And that's debt. Debt is slavery. The Bible talks about it. Proverbs 22:7, the borrower is slave to the lender. But with this program, we have a way to combat or to resurrect or to counteract the evil that has been done to us since 1913, December 24th, 1913. And we can get out of debt and help all the other people who are in debt get out of debt. We were systematically put into debt, and this program will show you systematically how to get out of debt as we educate one person at a time. Personally, I've saved $50,000 in credit card debt. The system told me I'd be out in 2.8 years. I did it in 13 months. Then I went ahead and got some good debt, $403,000 in debt, and the system told me I'll be out in 4.8 years. I got about 3 years left. One of my clients that I remember, over $880,000 in debt, the system told me they'd be free in 8.7 years and save close to $400,000 in interest. Folks, doing things like this makes you sleep good at night. But like is said on the presentation, we still have a lot of people to reach. We haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet. There's so many people that we can help. And the last thing I want to say that Lynn mentioned, I want you to go away with this. He talked about how much the program might cost you and talk about how you can do it zero free. But let me tell you what has happened to me. Even with that, I bought the program. I'm a product of the product. I've joined the business. And because I joined the business and bought the program, the cost of the program has become absolutely tax-free. So it pays me to get involved. So the federal government helped us get into this mess, and with the tax structure, if you structure it right, they can certainly help us get out of this mess. Okay. We used to say on my team, if someone after hearing this, I cannot remember the last time I owed on my taxes. I always get a refund because of the principles in this business. So get involved.
Thank you so much. Just folks, we really appreciate each one of you being on with us this evening, and whoever had invited you to our meeting tonight, listen, get back to them. Let them run your numbers, but we need great people to help us change people's lives. So Lynn, any parting comments?
Oh, thank you so much, Steve and Di and Tony and David. Fantastic. Thank you folks for being on. Set yourself free, get involved. Would love to have you on board.
Amen. Thanks so much and have a good evening, folks. Take care.